video, I show you how to take a small studio background and make it much, much bigger.
Adorama TV presents Take and Make Great Photography with Gavin Hoey.
Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that has everything for us photographers. And today you join me in my small studio. And the key word is small. If you own a small home studio or a portable studio, one of the downsides is often your backgrounds are quite, well, small. This shoot, the idea I've got, requires a big, wide space, a feeling of openness. And the background I've set up is this, which is actually smaller than my usual background. Now, of course, I could shoot this in upright portrait format and just show you that, but think about it. Upright portrait, that will make the picture seem a little bit tighter. It won't have that feeling of space, but also you're viewing this on a wide screen. For maximum impact, I want to fill your screen with image. And I can make that happen by applying a few tricks. One of them is a bit of pre-planning. The other is a trick we can do during the photography. And finally, I'll bring it all together with a bit of work in Photoshop. So let's get a model in, let's get shooting. Today I've been joined in the studio by Adrienne. She's going to be the model, and as you can see we've got a nice simple setup here. I've got my balloon which is magically hovering in the air. It's not, it's attached to a piece of fishing twine, and the whole set is quite a tall, thin setup. Now that's fine, except of course I want to have a wide shot for the internet. So I've got to do a couple of things. Now I'm going to do the post-processing, we'll get to that in a bit, but to make life easier I've got three things I've got prepared. First of all, the background. The background on this shot has a little bit of texture to it. Now, if you shoot with a white background or a pure black background, then that's easy to extend. If you shoot with a more even background, it becomes a bit harder to extend, but texture, it makes the blending of my new background edges a lot easier to the real background. So that's one thing. Next thing is the lighting. I'm going to light this with really soft, flat, even lighting. If I had hard lighting or directional lighting, again, the Photoshop bit would be just that little bit harder. Not impossible, just harder. And I want to make life easier for myself. So I'm going to use the StreakLight 360 as my main light. In fact, I've got two of them here. And these lights, well, they are bare flash. This isn't going to give me soft lighting. Normally for soft lighting, you use a softbox or an umbrella, but I'm in a really small studio. The walls in my really small studio, well, they're painted white. So if I get my lights, I pop them over to the side, and I bounce them off the wall, they'll become a much bigger source of light, a much softer source as a result, and that's where I'm going to get my lovely, soft, even lighting from. Now we need to meter this, so let's just see what power we're getting at the moment. I've got my flash meter. I'm just going to pop it in the middle of the scene. We'll press the test button, and I'm getting F8. So that's absolutely perfect. F8, I'm happy to use F8. We can test each individual light if I like by kind of standing in front. F8, and not surprisingly, F8. So it's exactly what you might imagine. Lovely, soft, even lighting. So we've got a nice texture background, we've got nice, even lighting. My third thing that's going to make my life so much easier is a tripod. Now, if I shoot all of my shots at exactly the same height, same position, when it comes to adding in a new background, well, that's just going to make life so much simpler. So using a tripod for this shoot is something that I'm going to highly recommend, and we'll pop my camera, my little Olympus Pen F, on the tripod in a minute as we do the shoot. So that's the basics. Let's actually get on and do the shoot and start taking some pictures. So, are you ready? Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's get you sat down on the floor. Brilliant. Okay, look at the balloon. Make that balloon move. So there we are, we got some great shots there. But my shoot isn't quite done yet. However, Adrian, we are done with you, so you may now leave the stage. Thank you very much indeed. Take Teddy with you. Fantastic. So I've got one more set of shots to do, and my shots basically involve nothing at all. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of our model, which we've done. I'm going to take the balloon away. Here it goes. Yeah, that kind of worked. And I'm going to take the same shots on an empty set. Same exposure, same lighting, same camera position. That's kind of important. And that empty shot is going to become my new extended background. So let's get the best of the photo shoot and the empty frame into Photoshop, and we'll do some editing on that right now. So with the photography done, it's time to move into Photoshop. I've gone through the images. I've chosen one of my favorites and the empty background. They both had exactly the same processing in Adobe Camera Raw. I went with a slightly sort of pinky tone. I felt that really added to the shot. That's important. They need to be processed the same. Let's have a look at the shots. So this is the image I want to use, and as you can see, it's a nice shot. That looks really good. And this is the empty background image. And as you can see, there's no difference other than there's no model or balloon in here. The key thing, the angle of view is exactly the same. The height above the floor is exactly the same. Now, I want to make this larger. I'm going to get the crop tool. I've got a 16:9 crop preset in there. So if I drag that out a little bit bigger, that's the amount of space I need to fill in, which is a lot, to say the least. It's almost, well, 3 times the amount of the original shot. Now, I'm actually not going to increase my canvas using white. I'm actually going to increase my canvas using a red. And this might seem just a little bit weird because I'm going to cover it all up anyway. So why am I bothering about the color? Well, that will become clear in a second. So that's the new working area. Let's grab this image and we'll just select it all and copy it. Go back to the main image and paste this in. Now when I pasted it in, I can get the move tool, and I can drag this over to the side. If I hold shift, it'll stay nice and level. So you can see I've got a bit of room here, and if I drop this down, you can see I've got a little bit of area to play with, and maybe you can start to see why I'm using red as my background color. But that will become much clearer when I add a layer mask in here. We'll get a brush that's black, and I can paint with a little layer mask. Now you can see why I'm using red. So anywhere where I just kind of sneak over the edges, I'm going to get that little red area coming through. If I swap to white, I can paint that back out again, and that just helps me to make sure that I fill in my edges and I don't have any weird background colors coming through. Okay, that's one side done. Obviously, I've got to do exactly the same to the other side, and well, it's exactly the same technique. Let's just come in here and paste it. It will still be in my clipboard. I can drag that to the side, snap the left edge onto the left edge, pop a layer mask in here, and again, where is it? It's actually quite hard to see. There it is. Okay, so we'll get a paintbrush, make sure the paintbrush is black, and we'll come in here. Yep, you see immediately, get that wrong, that's absolutely fine. It's so hard to see on that edge. I'm almost wondering why I'm worrying about that bit. Maybe I should just worry about this bit down here. Yeah, there we go. That's the bit I need to worry about. There you go. And I'm doing this in a non-straight line, so I'm giving this a little bit of a wobble and a wiggle because I don't want this to be an exact straight line. I want some bits from some images and others from others. Okay, so that's great. Now, once I've done that and I'm absolutely happy, I can either flatten the image down or make a duplicate flattened layer. Let's just flatten that down. And I'm going to look for anywhere where there's an obvious sort of exactly the same bits here, there's exactly the same bit there. And anywhere where there's an obvious similarity between the two shots, I'm just going to use something like the spot healing brush or the clone stamp tool just to tidy away those little bits, just so we have no exactly repeating patterns, at least not too many. 1 or 2 you can get away with, but too many of them and it will start to look artificial. So there we go. I can spend a little bit of time just tidying that up, and there is my final picture completed. Just because you have a small studio doesn't mean you can't think big and create big as well. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more from myself and the other amazing presenters here on Adorama TV, you know what you've got to do? You've got to click on the, oh no, I've broken it. You've got to click on the subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.